This Computer Organization and Architecture presentation from Chapter 9 Communication, TCP/IP, and Internet. Data communications. Data communication is to study the transmission of digital messages to devices besides the message source. The devices or channels are generally thought of as being independently powered circuitry that exist beyond the chassis of computers or other digital message source. The goal of data communication is to provide a means of reliable and efficient data communication between two end nodes or hosts. Signal, data, and channels. Electromagnetic signals, which are capable of propagation on a variety of transmission media, can be used to convey data. In real world, we have two types of signals, analog signal and digital signal. Most IP phones also transmit digital signals, while old telephone systems transmitted analog signals. An analog signal is a format of representing data with continuously varying electromagnetic wave. An old telephone system transmits analog signals from the source to the destination. A digital signal is a format of representing data with sequence of voltage pulses. Nowadays, most network signals are all digital signals. Signal encoding and modulation. Analog data are often encoded and modulated during transmission. The amplitude modulation, or AM, is used by many radio stations to broadcast news information. The frequency modulation, or FM, is often used by radio stations to broadcast music, since FM can have better voice quality compared with AM. A carrier is a waveform that is modulated with an input signal for the purpose of conveying information. Since human voices fall between 20 Hz and 20 kHz, there is no way to transmit multiple voice signals over one cable without modulation. The carrier helps to modulate the voice signals to different consecutive frequencies so there isn't overlap between any voice signals. So here is the example wave of amplitude modulation, or AM, frequency modulation, or FM, and then phase modulation for PM. Shannon theorem. Sampling is the process of converting a signal into numeric sequence. If the original signal has the highest frequency B, the sample rate should be 2B in order to reconstruct the original signal less. The lower bound to the sampling frequency, 2B, is called the Nyquist rate. TCP or IP. The TCP/IP architecture is the foundation of the modern Internet. It was developed during the 1970s as a result of the need for a wide area communication system. It is a result of protocol research and development conducted on the Experimental Packet Switch Network, ARPANET, funded by the Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, or DARPA. Network topology. TCP/IP revolutionized and greatly improved the transmission of digitized information throughout the Internet. The most used protocol at the transport layer is the Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP. Since many network applications may be running on the same machine with one single IP address, the need for redundancy is critical. Transmission Control Protocol. The Transmission Control Protocol, or TCP, is one of the core protocols of the Internet protocol suite. The TCP provides reliable, ordered delivery of a stream of bytes from one computer to another. Other applications which do not require reliable data stream service may use the User Datagram Protocol, or UDP. The FTP relies on the use of TCP when uploading and transferring text and binary files. The SSH is a secure method of logging to a system, for example, a terminal or other computerized device. There are other protocol suites that serve the same purposes as TCP/IP. User Datagram Protocol. The User Datagram Protocol, or UDP, is one of the core members of the Internet Protocol Suite, the set of network protocols used for the Internet. Common network applications that use UDP include the Domain Name System, or DNS, streaming media applications such as IPTV, Voice Video over IP, or VoIP, and many online games. Internet Protocol. Routers are essential to the entire process of effecting efficient communications. They are used to connect multiple networks and send disseminate information. The Internet Protocol handles the address part of a packet so that it gets to its destination. It is used at the Internet layer to provide routing function across multiple networks. Network switches. Network switches and routers are the building blocks for all business communications. There are two types of switches, unmanaged and managed. Managed switches are designed to work right out of the box without configuration. And unmanaged switches have less network capacity and are often found in home networking equipment. Layer 1 hubs. A network hub, or repeater, is a simple network device. Hubs do not manage any of the traffic that comes through them. High-end switches have a feature which does the same thing called port mirroring. The problem with the hub is that it generates lots of unnecessary network traffic. This in turn causes network congestion and seriously limits performance. The throughput of a hub is very limited. For example, an 8-port hub connects to 100 MBs network using the uplink connector. Then each port can only have the maximum speed of 100 MBs, or which is equivalent to 12.5 MBs. Ethernet switch. A network switch is an intelligent device that can actively manage the data going through it. Unlike a hub, a switch knows which computers are connected to each of its ports as well as the source and destination address of each data frame it encounters. A basic 16-port 10 to 100 MB switch can be had for as little as $60. Virtual switches. Virtual switches enable network components, such as virtual machines, to communicate with each other. This requires creating virtual switches with a hypervisor, which hosts multiple virtual machines on a single piece of computer hardware. They can help with the migration of virtual machines across physical hosts by eliminating the need to reconfigure each virtual machine. Routers. Routers are critical to the success of the internet. They allow for packets to flow from source to destination with little delay. The most familiar type of routers are home and small office routers that simply pass data between computers. However, more sophisticated routers range from enterprise routers, which connect large business or ISP networks, up to core routers that forward data at high speed along the internet backbone. History of routers. William Yeager invented the first commercially available router product in 1980. His first router operated on a 3 megabit Ethernet. He later updated his routing system to function with the Internet Protocol or IP. Shortly after Yeager created his routing configuration, Len Bosak and Sandy Lerner started a company called Cisco. Architecture. Cisco CRS-1 is capable of routing 40 gigabits per slot and has a capability of housing 16 slots. Each MSC is equipped with two high-performance Cisco Silicon Packet Processors or SPP. The route processor is available to execute algorithms such as Border Gateway Protocol or BGP and supports up to 4 gig DRAM, 4 GB hard drive, and 2 by 32 GB solid-state drive. A router is a specialized computer that is optimized for the function of routing traffic at a highly efficient rate. A router generally contains 7 major internal components: CPU, RAM, MVRAM, flash memory, ROM, console, and interfaces. Internet Protocol version 4. The Internet Protocol version 4 or IPv4 is an Open Systems Interconnection or OSI Layer 3 addressing protocol that uses 32 bits to identify a device. There are many different protocols, but following are some of the most important to understand. The address bits that line up with a binary 1 in the subnet mask are part of the network. Routing protocols help the router decide on the best path to take. An attacker can spoof an IP address and pretend to be an authorized machine. Internet Protocol version 6. There are not enough unique addresses to assign to every public device on the internet. In addition to solving the issue of addresses, IPv6 is also including IPsec as part of the protocol standard. This will ensure that IPv6 traffic through a router is secure from sniffing attacks. IPv6 solves this problem by using 128-bit for an address. Open Shortest Path First. Open Shortest Path First, or OSPF, is a protocol that uses the Dijkstra algorithm to find the best path for network traffic. This algorithm involves checking the difference between every link in search for the quickest route. It is important for a router to have a clear and correct routing table so that it can maintain a fast processing rate. Throughput and delay. Finding the best route and having the maximum throughput are the two most critical considerations for a router. Throughput determines how much of an object can be delivered over a period of time. Delay determines how long it takes to deliver an object. Three areas of effort are: 1. Increase the ability of applications operating in challenging conditions to achieve their fair share of bandwidth. 2. Synthesize knowledge required to adjust the effort to reduce delay. And 3. Develop protocols that use delay encountered in the communications paths of the Internet. Gateways. In a communications network, gateway is a network node used for interfacing with another network that uses different protocols. A gateway may contain devices such as protocol translators, impedance matching devices, rate converters, fault isolators, or signal translators. It also requires the establishment of mutually acceptable administrative procedures between both networks. The activities of a gateway are more complex than that of a router or switch as it communicates using more than one protocol. Wireless networks and network address translation. Wireless local area network is a technology that is rapidly improving and quickly being adopted by IT industries and professionals. Data are transmitted and received through radio signals in the air. It is easy to set up and costs less money than Ethernet networks. The study of wireless LAN includes definitions, history, architecture, protocols, war driving, and security issues. Wireless networks. A typical wireless local area network is a network connecting multiple devices or computers with no wires. It uses spread spectrum technology, which is radio waves, to connect among devices in a limited region. Businesses like McDonald's, Starbucks, and shopping malls have begun to offer wireless access to their customers. The spread spectrum technologies give portability to devices while remaining connected to the network. So this table compares different wireless networks. Wireless personal area network connects multiple devices in comparatively shorter area. These types of networks use point-to-point microwave links using parabolic dishes on a 2.4 GHz band where MAN and WAN uses antennas. OWAN include base station gateways, access points, and wireless bridging relays, for example. Cellular networks GSM, GPRS, 3G, 4G, LTE, and 5G. Bluetooth. Bluetooth is radio technology designed for communicating over short distances less than about 10 meters or 30 feet. Devices automatically detect and connect to one another, and up to 8 of them can communicate at any time. Each pair of devices uses different one of the 79 available channels. Wireless protocols. IEEE 802.11 is a set of standards for implementing wireless local area network, or WLAN, computer communication. The standard provides the foundation for products using the Wi-Fi band. It is a subset of IEEE 802, which is a standard for LAN and MAN. So 802.11b is the original version of the standard IEEE 802.11, first invented in 1997 and can transfer data up to 2 MBs. It has 3 physical layers technologies, which is diffuse infrared, frequency hopping spread spectrum, and direct sequence spread spectrum. 802.11g standard was widely accepted by customers because of the cost and faster data transfer rate. It uses the same OFDM method as 802.11a, but less interference issues with 2.4 GHz products, End of 2003, the majority of dual-band 802.111a/b products become dual-band tri-mode. 802.11n came out with better performance than the previous versions of A, B, and G. It has a new multiple input and multiple output antennas which previous versions did not have. Works with the 2.4 GHz band products with lesser interference from radio signals. 802.11ad is designed to offer much higher transfer rates than previous 802.11 specs, with a theoretical maximum transfer rate up to 6.7 gigabytes, but with much shorter distance, which is 10 meters. But the new standard also operates in the 60 GHz frequency band. WLAN handshaking, wire driving, and WLAN security. Below is the handshaking process when browsing the web using WLAN. Wireless NIC card sends out a radio signal to search for local router. When the router is found, then router takes the instruction and sends it to the gateway server using WAP. Then the gateway server gains data using HTTP. The gateway server encodes the HTTP data as WML. The WML encoded data is sent back to the client computer, and then the page is all ready to be viewed. Some of the WLAN benefits include portability. Users can access the internet even when they are outside of the home networks. A user can buy a 4G air card from cellular carriers and enjoy high-speed internet almost anywhere. Pricing. The cost of wireless products is a little bit higher than wired products. The Wi-Fi device's pricing is continuously decreasing. Productivity. Employees use wireless headsets to take customers with faster than traditional speed. Installation. Wireless network, you need to install several different pieces of equipment. Wired networks are hard to install. Expandability. Network admin can easily increase connections using the existing equipment. Wireless gateway attacks and rogue access point installation are some common attacks on wireless networks. A hacker may set a proxy server in between the wireless client and gateway. In MAC spoofing attack, the hacker can change the MAC or Ethernet address or a wireless NIC card. In address resolution protocol ARP poisoning, an attacker can intercept network traffic between two computers. Security measures to reduce wireless attacks. Here are some security measures recommended to reduce being a victim of wireless attacks. Use WPA with TKIP, AES, and use the CCMP with AES in future. Turn off the SSID broadcast, change default SSID, change default IP address, change default login password, use MAC filtering in AP level or in radio server. Position and shield the antenna to direct the radio waves to a limited space. Use limited DHCP clients to control the number of users that may connect to the WLAN. Use firewall between AP and the wired LAN to secure the wired LAN from further intrusion. Enable the accounting and logging to locate and trace. Use good intrusion detection software to monitor the network activity. Use VPN, IPsec, and secure tunneling. Use honeypots or fake APs in the regular network to confuse the hacker. Use biometric authentication such as fingerprinting. Update drivers and firmware of the routers. And use strong passwords. The future of wireless network. The future of WLAN will change because of the success of wireless air cards or portable hotspots which use 3G, 4G, WiMAX, or 5G cellular networks. Some people claim that a MiFi, a device that can support up to 5 users to access the Ethernet through cellular network, could replace wired broadband subscriptions. Mobility. The existing Internet, which is built for stationary end host, does not handle mobility easily within the Internet architecture. The issue of mobility relates to handling changes in location and underlying network connectivity of mobile end systems on each protocol layer. Multi-homing. In the past, most hosts, nodes, or computers had only one network interface. Hosts stayed within one network with one egress path. However, multi-home hosts or devices having multiple networking interfaces are becoming more common. Routing scalability. A common solution for IP network sites to allow changing their service providers is to use provider-independent addresses. However, these addresses are not aggregable and lead to an exponential increase in size of the routing table. Deployability. To deploy new system from the scratch can be hectic. Many times, companies lack an appropriate and realistic deployment plan. Network address translation. Network address translation uses a set IP addresses for internal and external traffic. NAT acts as a mediator between the internet and LAN. It uses only one IP address for an entire LAN. Static NAT changes an unregistered IP address to registered IP. It is useful when someone from outside is trying to access inside network. Dynamic NAT changes a registered IP address to an unregistered IP. Dynamic NAT acts as a firewall between the client computer and the internet. Outside users can only connect to the inside computer by using NAT. NAT prevents outside users to access inside computers directly but let inside computers connect to the internet. Static NAT allows external devices to initiate connections to computer on the stub domain. It allows a host in stub domain to keep specific IP addresses when connecting to the internet. Environmental and health concerns using cellular and wireless devices. Cell phones emit radio frequency energy, a form of non-ionizing electromagnetic radiation, which can be absorbed by tissues closest to where the phone is held. A team of 31 scientists from 14 countries, including the United States, made the decision after reviewing peer-reviewed studies on cell phone safety. Cell phones could be as big a public health risks as smoking, asbestos, and lead. University of Pittsburgh professor urges employees to limit cell phone use. Apple iPhone safety manual says user radiation exposure should not exceed FCC guidelines. Former BlackBerry Bold advises users to keep phone away from their faces. Mobile networks. Mobile networks are commonly referred to cellular networks that a physical device can be taken anywhere. Mobile networks consist of mobile systems and devices. Mobile operating systems, mobile computing, cellular 3G, 4G, LTE, 5G networks, and mobile device management. Modern wireless and mobile networks. The first generation mobile communications technologies are analog-based voice-only service. The 2G and 3G digital networks improve voice quality and capacity. While the 1G market was becoming saturated, we needed new technologies that allow multiple users to share a frequency channel. The fourth generation technology allows wireless carriers to take advantage of greater download and upload speed. LTE Advanced supports wider bandwidth than the bandwidth supported by LTE. Fifth generation cellular communication networks are going to revolutionize current lifestyles. 3GPP initiatives. The third generation partnership project unites telecommunications standard setting organizations. There are 3 technical specifications groups in 3GPP. They are Radio Access Network or RAN, Services and Systems Aspects or SA, and Core Network and Terminals, CT. Long-Time Evolution. The Long-Time Evolution or LTE is the project name given to development of a high-performance air interface for cellular mobile communication systems. The LTE adapts new technologies that are new to 3G networks such as orthogonal, frequency division multiplexing, and multiple input, multiple output. Mobile 5G. The 5th generation cellular communication networks are going to revolutionize communications. Internet of Things concept and tactile internet are the major drivers for 5G communications. 5G infrastructure provides customized network solutions to support vertical markets such as automotive, energy, food, and agriculture, and healthcare. Security and privacy. Software-defined networking is an umbrella term encompassing several kinds of network technologies. SDN aims to make the network as agile and flexible as a modern data center. Cloud services provide IoT devices management and application program interface support. Network security. Internet use has expanded over the decade with an overwhelming number of users. Denial of service, or DOS, and IP spoofing are very common. Strong security measures must be taken to protect the components of the network as well as the data flowing through the network. The next advancement is intrusion detection and prevention systems. Introduction. Internet has become an essential part of our lives. Increasing number of users on private networks are demanding access to internet services. Corporations want to offer websites for public access on the internet. The need for security has also increased substantially over the past few years, experts say. Network security basics. Security has become one of the primary concerns when an individual or organization connects its computer or private network to the internet. A firewall is anything, whether hardware or software, that can filter the transmission of packets of digital information as they attempt to pass through a boundary of a network. Information hacking. System administrators and developers adopt different network security standards to prevent their networks from different hackers and malicious users. There are many sites which can teach how to hack, trace IP addresses, and port scanning. One of the mechanisms used to protect private networks is Internet Firewall. Different categories of hackers. Neophyte hackers are a set of people who is full of stuff and enthusiasm but low on experience, usually hack for thrill. Script kiddie hackers are a group of people who uses existing and frequently well-known and easy-to-find techniques and programs or scripts to search for and exploit weaknesses in other computers on the internet, often randomly and with little regard or perhaps even understanding of the potentially harmful consequences. White hat hackers refer to an ethical hacker or a computer security expert who specializes in penetration testing and in other testing methodologies to ensure the security of an organization's information systems. Gray hat hackers sometimes arguably act illegally, though in goodwill, or to how they disclose vulnerabilities. They usually do not hack for personal gain or have malicious intentions but may be prepared to technically commit crimes during their technological exploits in order to achieve better security. Blue hat hackers refer to outside computer security consulting firms that are employed to bug test system prior to its launch, looking for exploits so they can be closed. Black hat hackers refer to a hacker who breaks into a computer system or network with malicious intent for self-financial gain. Benefits of using firewalls. Monitor and record the access information to a network. Firewalls are used to secure and filter email viruses and malware attacks. Firewalls are used to give role-based access to different parts of a network and hence manage use of resources on the network. Firewalls allows calculate usage of the internet, mainly to check individual users and performance effects. Allows manage and enforce computing ethics issues for an organization. Firewall and firewall technologies. An internet firewall enforces a security policy between an organization's network and the internet. The firewall must permit only authorized traffic to pass through it, and the firewall itself must be immune to the penetration. Firewalls are often placed at the perimeter of a network, such as a firewall can be said to have an external and internal interface. Some firewalls include intrusion prevention systems or IPS technologies. VPNs are most often used to provide secure network communications across not trusted networks. Firewall architecture. A firewall quality is measured by the components integrated inside it. A typical firewall is composed of one or more of the following building blocks in addition to the software enabling it. Packet filtering routers. A packet filtering router examines every packet's header information to determine whether it matches one of its packet filtering rules. There are two types of packet filtering: service-dependent, service-independent, and difficult to identify. Routers can be configured to protect against these types of attacks. Application-level gateways or proxy server are often referred to as a bastion host, which is the design system that is specifically armored and protect against attacks. Application-level gateways allow information to flow between systems but do not allow the direct exchange of packets, unlike packet filtering. Circuit-level gateway. A circuit-level gateway is a specialized function that can be performed by an application-level gateway. The most common Internet firewall system consists of a packet filtering router deployed between a private network and the Internet. These kinds of firewalls employ two packet filters and application-level gateways. Constraint and limitations of firewall. Firewall management programs can be designed one of two basic ways. The fault deny approach is the most secure, but many networks use the default allow approach instead. Internet firewalls cannot protect against data-driven attacks that occur when seemingly harmless data is mailed or copied to an internal host. Enterprise firewalls. There are various types of enterprise firewalls of network security devices. Here are the few examples of the most popular versions: Cisco Firewall, Barracuda Firewall, Checkpoint Firewall, Juniper Networks NetScreen, Windows ISA Server, Microsoft Internet Security and Acceleration Server, and Sonic Wall. Intrusion detection and prevention. Intrusion detection and prevention system are primarily focused on identifying possible incidents, logging information about them, attempting to stop them, and reporting them. IDPS can also identify problems with security policies, document existing threats, and deter individuals from violating security policies. Common types of IDPS technologies are network-based, wireless, network behavior analysis or NBA, and host-based. Security logs and log analysis. Web log file is log file automatically created and maintained by a web server. Log analysis is a term used for analysis of computer-generated records to help organizations, businesses, or networks in proactively and reactive mitigating different risks. The raw web log file format is essentially one line of text for each hit to the website. IoT architecture. The Internet of Things connects home appliances, sensors, traffic, vehicles, medical aids, and industrial automation. This makes it difficult to set up a SCADA network to design a database for storing collected data. The study of IoT and SCADA involves how to integrate different technologies. So this is the IoT reference model. The 7 is the collaboration and processes. That is the people and business process. 6 is the application. Report, analytics, and control. 5 is the data abstraction, aggregation and access. 4 is the data accumulation, that's the storage. 3 is edge computing, data element analysis. 2, connectivity, that's communication processing. And 1 is the devices and controllers, which is the things in IoT. Paired firewall architecture. SCADA networks and corporate networks should be segregated to enhance security. Paired firewall architecture by Wang 2016 uses a pair of firewalls positioned between the corporate and SCADA networks. It is a more secure, manageable, and segregation architecture for SCADA systems. Defense in-depth SCADA architecture. Using firewalls alone cannot adequately protect SCADA networks. A multiple-layer architecture involving 2 or more security mechanisms is a better approach. The use of several DMZs provides the added security to separate functionalities and access privileges and has proved to be effective in protecting large architectures. IoT-TCP-Trusted Computing Protocol for IoT. Trusted computing is to build digital identities and increase assurance of trust among devices that are connected to the network. It adds a level of security on top of what is provided by operating systems and hardware. MQTT is a device-to-device IoT connectivity protocol. Yin et al. Recently proposed to integrate blockchain technology to authenticate resource-constrained, low-cost edge devices. VPN and VPC. A virtual private network (VPN) is a virtual network built on top of existing networks that can provide a secure communications mechanism. It is commonly used to connect corporate networks from remote places, as though one is within the corporate premise. VPN can be used to hide browsing activity from local network and ISP, bypass internet censorship, and access or download files. The Virtual Private Cloud or VPC enables users to launch cloud resources into a virtual network that have previously defined. It is beneficial for corporations to use a VPC instead of public cloud compared to putting all resources into a corporate data center. The VPC can also hide browsing activity from local network and bypass internet censorship. And that's the end of this presentation. Thank you.